Hi everyone, this is Paul Cooper with Totes and Notes, and on the second day of Christmas, Totes and Notes gives to you one multi-tool you'll love. So let's get started. In the description of this video, there'll be a link to a Dropbox where I'll have this Excel spreadsheet you can download, so now you can use this for yourself and follow along with the rest of the video. It's 5 tools built into the one spreadsheet that'll help you do time value of money calculations, amortizations for loans, and other calculations that you'd want to use if you're doing some type of note investing or time value of money. The first page here is just a generic loan amortization table. You just plug in the appropriate numbers to the different inputs and it'll generate a amortization table for you. It's currently set up to roll go up to 360 months, so if you need to go more than 30 years, then you'll have to do some modifications. That being said, I have locked this Excel spreadsheet so you don't have to worry about accidentally deleting any of the formulas. However, the formulas are displayed so you know what I'm doing. If you'd like to unlock certain parts of it, the password's just 123, and that's what it is for all of them. So to start, we're just going to do a very generic 30-year loan. We're going to do it for $100,000. Annual interest rate of 5%. 360 months is 30 years. Now, we don't know what our monthly payment is. We would need to generate that. So what we could do is go over here to monthly payment. This is set up to look like what your inputs would be if you had a calculator. You can go online, you can download different applications for your phone for time money value calculators. So N is just the number, the term, and everything in here is set up to be monthly, not annually. So you need to be careful with that. Excel wants to default to annual, so if you look at the formulas in here, you'll see times 12 divided by 12, things like that. And that's so all of my inputs are on the same type of schedule, whether that's, so they're all monthly as opposed to annually. So we'll put in 360. The present value, which is the loan balance starting off, is 100,000. The IY is the interest rate, said 5%, and the future value is 0. The future value will always be 0 for all of these. I just put that in there in case you're looking at your calculator and you're wondering what you should put in for future value. It should always be 0 since we're paying off the loan. And all of these numbers go to 4 decimal places because that's generally what's used in accounting. So 536.82, so what we can do is we can copy this, go here, and we want to paste it just as the value. And now we've got our amortization table. So if you look at it, it says what month, what the balance is starting off, what the payment is, how much of that goes to interest, how much goes to principal, and then the remaining loan balance. Just goes all the way down for all these years. And so this is nice just so you can see what the payment schedule is like. And then later on, we're going to go to our partial calculator, and this would be useful together because now you could see what would be paid if the loan was paid off early. So let's say you had this loan and you wanted to pay it off after a couple years. So we'll go to the 29th month. This is what the payoff amount would be. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty useful. You can find these online. It's just nice to have it all together with everything else we have. This is our partials calculator. I've done a couple other videos. I can't remember if these were all open to the public or if they're only to my investors. I'll probably do another video just on this because it can be a little complex. But it actually looks more daunting than what it is. And so this is what you would do, or this is what you would use if you had a performing note and you were looking to sell a certain number of payments and do a partial. Now you got to be careful with this. You know, if you're selling partials, you can only sell to like one person. You got to be very careful how you word it to make sure that you're not creating some type of security. But this is a good calculation that you could use if you're selling them, or if you're looking to buy partials and get started in notes, or just put some performing partials into your retirement accounts. So starting off here, all of the spaces that have this kind of peach color, those are the areas for inputs. This area here, the address, city, and state, you can input into those and it's not going to change anything, but it won't affect the values or any of the calculations. So that's just for your own bookkeeping purposes. So you can keep things straight. The servicing cost is how much it would cost each month to service the loan. So you can put that in there to help you do some calculations. The partial sale number of months held in reserve is the number of months you want to add on to the acquisition price. And it's kind of misleading. So like right here, it would look like 6 months is held in reserve. What this is it just calculates 6 times the P&I and it adds that onto our acquisition price, and that's the sales price. However, that's not really 6 months in reserves because more than likely there was due diligence that was paid for on the front end. So some of that money needs to go to that. So make sure that you're either adjusting the acquisition price to reflect the due diligence so then it is actually 6 months, or just realize it's going to be less than 6 months. Here were some assets that I bought: the unpaid balance, the interest rate that was built into the loans, the payments remaining, the P&I, the acquisition price, which was the price that I was paying for them, and then 6 months worth of reserves, which is just 6 times the P&I added on. And so that was the sale price I was looking to get people invested at. And then you could transfer everything down here, so you could have your city and states just continue on. And then the fair market value would be plugged in. All this stuff is carried from up here down here. The rate is the interest rate that your investor or the buyer of the partials is looking to get, or what you're looking to offer. And so you can do that from 0 to 100%. It just depends. And this will determine how many payments that person is buying. So the partial sale price isn't going to change unless you increase this number here. What will change to compensate someone for a lower or higher interest rate is the number of payments. So right now you look at this one at 12%, they're going to get 52.27 payments. If you lowered it to 8%, they get 47 payments, but the initial sale price is the same. You can modify that however you like. You could increase the money on the front end by doing the months held in reserves, or you could just increase or decrease the rate. And then that'll tell you the total investment revenue stream and the total profit for the loan. And then down here is the seller's breakdown. So up here's the buyer's area. Down here is the seller's area. If I was to sell this loan at 8% interest rate with this partial sale price of $92.95, then I'd get $14.95 on the front end, which is important because I'm going to have due diligence expenses I'm going to need to pay. And then whatever's left over could be used as a buffer in case the note stops paying. And if it doesn't stop paying, then that's just kind of a little extra profit on the front end. And then here, the payments remaining, those are how many payments that I would get as the seller on the back end if I was to sell the partial at this setup. So 47 payments, that would leave 22.5 on the back end at this price. So that would be my revenue stream on the back end plus the acquisition buffer. Total profit would be this number here. That's misleading because, again, you're going to have due diligence and some carrying costs and things like that, but it's just a general calculation. So this is a pretty cool tool. I'll probably do some more videos on different examples, but I just wanted to release this to get started. Again, everything should be locked here, so you shouldn't be able to delete anything and mess up the formulas. If you do, just re-download it. Our next 4 calculators are all just basic time value money calculators. We've got one set up for the present value, the annual interest rate, the months remaining, and the monthly payment. And so basically in a time value money calculator, if you're only missing one of the values, then what you can do is you can plug in the other values to calculate the value you're missing. So in this example, if we wanted to calculate the present value or the unpaid balance of the loan, then we would plug in 360 months, 5% interest rate. Then we'd go over here and get our payment. Calculates $100,000 for us. And so if you have most of the items and you just need to calculate one, you can do that through all these. So in this example, again, 360 months, present value is 100,000. Payments $536.82. That calculates a 5% annual yield for us. Then the last 1 month's remaining, $536.82 for our payment, 5% interest rate, present value of $100,000, and then that gives us 360 months. So this is a way that you can do a lot of the calculations that you need just in one workbook. Each spreadsheet does a different calculation for you. So you've got your generic loan amortization, your partial calculator, which I will do more videos on, and then the present value, annual interest rate, months remaining, and monthly payment. Pretty straightforward, basic calculator, really just the partials that's a little bit odd. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. We'll have more for you in the future, and I really hope you enjoyed this nice little multi-tool on the second day of Christmas, and I hope you all have a good holiday season. Take care.